Hello and welcome, my name is John Valentine, and in this video I will be talking about the ultimate guide to writing cold emails. Now, cold emails are an important part of marketing because they can get you a client, they can get you support, they can get you a connection to a business, and so on. Writing cold emails in general is very important. So as you can see on the screen, these are the topics that I'll be talking about today. First, I'm going to talk about what subject line to have. Then we're going to be talking about validating yourself, actually writing the email, how to keep it personal, an easy CTA or call to action, then the decision process, and at the end showing gratitude, and of course at the end giving a conclusion and a summary of all the topics that I covered and some final tips and tricks. So make sure to stick around until the end to hear those. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me today, and let's get right into the first topic. Now, first of all, I want to talk about why cold emails don't always work. Now I'm going to get into some of those tips in the coming videos here, how to write them, how to actually formulate them, but you do have to keep in mind that sometimes they just don't work. Sometimes they just don't. Even if you have a perfect cold email, you think it's great, and it actually does work for other people. Sometimes it just doesn't work because people don't like cold emails, or it doesn't get to them, or they just simply don't like it. With cold emails, it's something, just like social media posts. Sometimes things can be very unexpected and uncertain. Of course, there is a general formula that I can give you, and that I will give you in these coming videos here in the units. But sometimes I just wanted to sort of preface that by saying sometimes they just don't work. So don't get discouraged. Just keep in mind that they are cold emails. You don't know them, which means that whenever someone gets an email like that, they know that they are being sold to, and sometimes people can immediately tell, and honestly nobody really likes being sold to. So whenever they need get that urge of needing to buy something, or hiring someone, or just getting something for something from that other person, some people are just discouraged by that, and some emails work on them, some don't, but I just wanted to sort of preface that because it is something to be said, that sometimes sometimes be like, oh, why doesn't this work? This worked here, and some others liked it, and it looks good, and I think it looks good, and that may all be true, but sometimes it just straight up doesn't work. There's nothing to do about it. There's no workaround. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So don't get discouraged. Just stick to it. Stick to the mass of writing a lot of cold emails, getting used to your good formula, having a template, and so on. So creating a good email template is definitely the way to go, and then start sending that out, start doing your research, and so on. But enough said of that. So let's get right into actually how to do these cold emails. So I'll be splitting the main portion of how to write an email into these three parts. As you can see on the side, there are 4 videos. First of all, the one that I just talked about, and then in addition the intro and the conclusion. But I will be splitting the main main meat of the explanation into these 3 parts, so feel free to look at all of those in regards to the topics I covered. But first of all, let's head straight into the first one here, and that is the subject line specificity. So you want to create a personalized, specific subject line. While you do have a template that you can maintain and just change accordingly, change the dear Mr. or dear company to whomever may concern, however you word that, it is wise to have a template, but that subject line specificity should be customized for each recipient in case that you're selling something. Of course, if it is a mass email, then it can stay general, but having a subject line specificity for specific people that you just write one email to, such as trying to get a big sale or something like that, not a big cold mass email, then you definitely want to engage that, because it helps have that personalized touch. It gets people to see that there is something for them. If it just says opportunity now, or save money for your business and stuff like that, it looks very spammy, especially nowadays. But if it says if you're writing a t-shirt company and want to help them with marketing, and then you say colorful printing, here's how to colorful printing business improvements, or something like that. Of course, this is just a crude example. You have to come up with your own word there, but having that customized and sort of specific subject line, definitely helps get that reader to open the actual email. Again, also be truthful. If you have truth in the actual subject line, there's no letdowns, and you can't raise expectations and be like, oh, okay. For example, if you say, how to make $10,000 in one day, and then it just says, well, you have to invest $1 million every week to do that. Well, you have to be truthful in the sense that there's no letdowns. You can, of course, promise something and make it hopeful, as most marketings, make it quote unquote clickbaity, but you don't want to overpromise and then underdeliver, as always, because that just raises expectations and then defeats them, and then people feel like they're being let down or being led astray and stuff like that. So be truthful, but still be appealing in the sense that you want it to be clickbaity and people want to click on it. So try to not, of course, be generic as well. You want to stand out in a email inbox because people get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. So if they see that cold email, make it something that's not too generic and just make it customized, but be truthful, no letdowns, and don't be generic. Now, moving on, of course, also keep it short. Keep it short and simple and get to the point. Don't keep it too short to the sense of you're missing details, but of course, don't make it too long because nobody's going to read it. Nobody wants to read, 6 sentences and 20 bullet points of your, statistics information. Keep it short. Keep it a few sentences. Something like 3 sentences are best. Of course, depending on what kind of services you're offering. If you're offering complex financial advice or something like that, then you probably want to include more information and details to know that what you're talking about. But if it's something like, I want to create a website for you, well, you can easily explain that in 1 to 3 sentences of, I am a private graphic design firm. I see that you don't have a website. I can create that for you. This is of course very abruptly said here, but that general sentences, you want to keep it like that. You do want to have a short and simple explanation of who you are and what you want to do, just like with a lot of pitches, basically. Keep it concise, because if they don't know you, then why should they give you the attention that you want? Because if they see something and it looks interesting, then people will go for it. But if it's too long, no matter who it is, nobody's going to want to read it, especially if they don't know you, which is the case in writing cold emails. So keep that in mind. And lastly, validate yourself. But what I mean by validate yourself is you want to confirm your credentials, such as I said before. Say who you are and what you do, in a sense of providing, information about who you are and why you would be good for the job. Describe it briefly. Say what you can do and not who you are. For example, a bad example would be, I'm an email blogger working in marketing, but a good example would be, I'm an email consultant. Over the past 2 years, I helped small businesses increase their profit by 34%. Now, this would be a great opener because it gives you direct credentials and it gives you a direct line of who you are, what you do, and how you have helped other people and what you can provide for this service. If you just say, I'm an email blogger working in marketing, well, there's too many of those. But if you consistently say, I'm an email, like I said here, I'm an email consultant. I've been in the business for 20 years, and over the past 2 years, I've helped small businesses increase profit by 34%. Well, that's a great point of introduction for that business, because, like I said, then they know who you are, what you do, and how successful you've been. So confirm your credentials, validate yourself by showing what you can do for these businesses and who you really are. So yeah, these are some things to keep in mind when you first start out writing your cold emails, and always to keep in mind, honestly, when you just continue to write your cold emails. So subject line specificity, keep it short and simple, get to the point, and validate yourself. Introduce who you are and say what you can do, not necessarily who you are only. Definitely say, in addition to who you are, what you can do. So these are the first few parts of writing an email. Let's move in right into the second part. Alright, moving on to the second part, to a full guide of writing cold emails. You want to keep it personal. Like I said, similar to the subject line specificity, success always increases with personalization. So do your research of the company that you're cold emailing. This can be done in minutes, but you don't need to research a company for 3.5 hours to see some quick info about the companies. For example, like I said, if you're a graphic design or a website development company, you can just write them, I see you don't have a website, maybe I can help you with that, something like that. But if you never check their website, you don't know that they don't have a website, or that their website is completely outdated, from 2008 or something like that. Of course, you want to, don't insult their business, but just keep it, constructive, and be like, I see that, you don't have an online presence, as sophisticated as your competitors. Maybe I can help you with that, something like that. So you want to keep it personal. So do your research for a little bit. This can be done for 5 minutes, not even 3 minutes for a company. Research for 5 minutes. Adjust your email accordingly, send it out, and this can be done very quickly. It sounds like sometimes that it takes a lot of work and you can write 5 emails a day, but no, that's not the case. You can write 5 emails an hour if you do your research efficiently and stuff like that. So you don't need to go deep dive into the financials, of course, depending on what services you provide, but generally speaking, by research I mean just a quick look into the company, who they are and what they do. So this can also help you find a mutual connection. If they're based out of a city that you're in, for example, you can say, oh, and I'm a expert graphic designer in this city. I've helped small businesses in this city gain this and this profit over these and these months, or whatever it is, and then you can find that mutual connection as well, which helps you build that relationship with the business as well. So secondly, what you want to do is you want to show your value. So you want to explain, what do they get? What do they get when they work with you? Why should they work with you? Make it about them and not you. Nobody cares about you. They want to know how they benefit, especially if it's an efficient business, and most businesses are. They want to know what their money goes to, why they should work with you, why they should spend their time on you. If you tell them, oh, I do this, I do this, I do this, but the third line that you're talking to them, they don't really care anymore. You want to explain to them what you can do for them, why you should work with them, why they should work with you, why they should hire you. So make it about them, not you. Similar to making it personal, you want to show your value. You want to show, okay, like I said in the previous video with the example, you don't want to say, oh, I'm an email blogger and marketing. I do this. I've worked with this company for the past. Make it a little bit more about them, such as you can say that you've worked this, but make it more about them, meaning, oh, I've worked in with this company for the past 5 years, and through my email marketing, they've increased their direct sales of 35%. They increased their website traffic of 38%. Of course, it helps having direct figures such as that, like statistics and so on. But just in general, showing your value can also help. Saying, I've helped them reach new heights of their website traffic. I've helped them close new clients because of their updated graphics and so on. Something like that. So just show your value, show why they should work with you, and basically what the company gets out of hiring you and out of building that connection with you. There are many ways to do that, of course, depending on what kind of services you offer. But there's definitely different ways to customize that and tell the person or the business what you can offer and what you can help them with. And now, lastly, have an easy CTA or call to action. Don't crowd them with information and option. Pose a simple yes or no question. Like I said, a lot of information is sometimes overwhelming. They're like, well, I'm confused, or I don't want to deal with this, whatever. I don't want to call, I don't want to email, this and this and this. Give them simple options in order to engage with you. So, say something like, I see you don't have a website. Would you be interested in having one? Let them know they can say no. If you're not interested, I thank you for your time. That can help as well. It shows that you're approachable. It helps that you're, that you're not that desperate, such as saying, oh, I need to work with you. But if you say, if you're not interested, thank you for your time. I have a lot of businesses lined up. It is a little bit of the reverse psychology, and it just shows that you're, not bound to having them as a business, which always helps, not, looking desperate. But just in general, post simple yes or no questions. Feel free to contact me back. If you DM someone on Instagram, for example, you just say, feel free to DM me back on here or something like that. If you have an email, just say, you can reach me on this email, something like that. Just a small call to action for them to know exactly what to do. If you have an online order form, you can be like, if you are interested, go to this website and fill out the order form. If you want a free quote, go on this website and find out how much it would cost you for you to hire me. So just have an easy call to action at the end for people to know what to do. If you just tell them, I'm an email marketer and I've helped businesses grow by 35% over the past 2 years. Okay, bye. Well, that's not really, there's no call to action. They're like, okay, thank you for the information. What do you want from me? You want to have that call to action at the end, because that is what closes the deal, and that tells the person in the business to know what they need to do. Because you need to make things simple, because people don't like to think too much, especially if it's something that they're doing for someone else, because you trying to close that sale, they're doing something for you. Yes, you're helping them with the service, but at the end of the day, you want something from them because you came to them. So they're in the position of power, so make it as easy as possible for the other person to respond and to engage with you. So an easy call to action is the way to do that. Like I said, say, go to my website and get a free quote. If you're interested, email me back here, or whatever it is. Adjust it accordingly to whatever services you offer and how you take that response. But yeah. And now for this last part, for the full guide, just sort of finishing up, make it an easy decision process. So similar to the easy call to action, make it an easy decision process for the person. Make it direct and don't leave open questions. A bad example would be, when are you free? And a good example would be, are you available for a phone call around 11 a.m. on Wednesday? Make it direct, make it very specific for people to have the decision process. So this can also be done once you have a little bit of a back and forth. You write that cold email, they answer yes, and then you can have similar and specific examples of how to make that decision. So like I said, take away as much work from them as possible. If you say, when are you free? Well, that's so open. People have to think and see in the calendar, like, oh, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, I'm free Wednesday. If they're free every day, how would they decide on what to do? It's too much decision for us. If you tell them, are you available for a phone call around 11 a.m. on Wednesday, then they either say, yes, that works great, or say, no, actually 11 on Wednesday, I'm busy. And then either they will suggest a time such as, but I am available at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. And then you can say, great, that works, let's do it. Or they will just say, no, I'm not available, and then you can follow up with, well, how about Thursday at 11 a.m. or Friday at 3 p.m. or something like that. Then you can start giving them other times where people will be like, okay, actually that works. So like I said, easy decision process is key. Just making the things as easy as possible for the other person and take as much work away for them as possible. And then lastly, show your gratitude. Be nice and be appreciative. Of course, don't be a kiss ass and don't sound like you're too desperate of, thank you so much for working with me, thank you so much. But you can't be like, show your gratitude, especially if they answer and stuff like that. You can say like, thanks for getting back to me, stuff like that. If you finish with them and you work with them, be like, thank you for doing business with you, looking forward to working with you again in the future, stuff like that. You can definitely show your gratitude and be nice without being too much of a suck up, but just being appreciative in the sense of showing your gratitude and just having manners with the other person and have a good rapport and a good relationship can definitely go a long way of either working with them again or them recommending you to someone else. So being nice, being showing your gratitude and being appreciative of that business relationship can definitely yield some great results in all sense of the word. Like I said, either because they're like, oh, this guy's so nice, we've worked with them, he was good and he was very effective communication and we have a good relationship, you should definitely work with them too. You never know who they're going to talk to. So definitely a good idea to always be nice, of course, and also not just let things go by the way. Because when I say show your gratitude, people say like, well, of course I'm not going to be rude, but there's a difference between showing gratitude, not being rude. There's also a middle ground of being sort of indifferent, because sometimes if you do your work, sometimes people think, okay, they paid me, I did the work, let's move on, that's it, let's leave them behind. But that's not always a good idea. It's always a good idea to show them, to write them a thank you email such as, I just received the payment, thank you for working with me, it's been a great experience, let me know if you have any other needs, graphic design needs or whatever it is. So sometimes people just let it fall away and they miss out on a lot of future customers, because people would love to work with someone again that they have a good relationship with, because who doesn't like working with someone that they actually like? So definitely showing your gratitude in the sense of also building that connection and maintaining that relationship. And finally, just to conclude and summarize some things, remember to have a specific subject line, make it customizable, or if you have a general, keep it still unique even though it is general. Validate yourself, show your credentials, show what you can do in addition to who you actually are. Then writing the emails, of course, you want to actually stick to the tips that I gave in the video of being short and simple and so on. Keep it personal. Have a easy call to action in order for them to know exactly what to do when they actually want to work with you, and make the decision process easy as well. If you want to schedule a call, be specific in the time and stuff like that. Tell them exactly where to reach you. And finally, showing your gratitude, more specifically maintaining that good relationship. So these are definitely all things to keep in mind and a great idea to do when you're writing your cold emails. I definitely hope this full guide has shown you how to do this and helped you a lot. Make sure to leave a positive review if you watched until the end here, and put any questions you have in the discussion section down below. Make sure to follow my YouTube channel, make sure to follow this channel. I will be uploading one video a week throughout all of 2021. I've already done so. Make sure to check back on my channel and check out all the videos that have to do with digital marketing and business, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, marketing. As you can see here, cold email marketing. I'm uploading a bunch of videos all to do with digital marketing, social media, business, and so on. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that kind of area. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.